Pennsylvania taxpayers in all 67 counties have watched Harrisburg fail to do its job. I think up here, even though we are as passionately opposed to the governor's agenda as we've talked about, I think we all still feel a responsibility to get something done. And I go back to something that the speaker had mentioned. 3 times we tried to fund our state government. We tried to fund our education system at a record amount. 3 times we were met by the governor's opposition. Why? Because he's hell-bent on raising taxes on every business and every working person in Pennsylvania. And when we look at this, the latest decision by the governor in December, as John Moore mentioned, we were 2% away from a budget. We disagreed about $600 million. And so what's the governor's reaction? To slash the budget by $7 billion. And for what purpose? Just to inflict pain on those that are receiving the $7 billion. To tell us to get back and vote for the governor's increases in taxes. So as much as we're disappointed about not having a completed state budget now into the month of March, it's not going to be used against us to wreck the economy and to wreck your family budget and to wreck the budget of small businesses. But we're going to continue to go back to Harrisburg and be there on Monday. We're going to continue to convince our Democratic colleagues to join this process because they can help this process. We can overcome this governor's punitive decisions if they would agree with us to override his veto and to drive out these funds. But unfortunately, they've been standing on the sidelines this entire process, just reading off the governor's talking points and talking about higher taxes, yet voting against every single tax increase that the governor's put on the table. Let's not forget, the governor's had his chance to convince all of us to vote for his budget proposals, and they've continually failed. And so when we go into next year, we go into the next budget cycle, I don't see much difference coming, I think, until the governor realizes, and he's not going to realize it until the Democrats in the House and the Senate stand up to him and say, Governor, enough is enough, and join with us to pass responsible budgets. Unfortunately, we're going to continue to have gridlock that looks a lot like Washington, D.C. I think many folks are frustrated. We're frustrated that Harrisburg has turned into a carbon copy of Washington under this governor. But that's not going to be used to force us to vote for job-crushing, economic, catastrophic tax increases.